Hey guys, welcome back to One All's Pub. Well, this particular knife had a cameo in my Large 21 Sebenza video, and I promised then that it would get its own little video, so here it is. The Large 21 Sebenza with Snakewood inlays. What I have nicknamed in my collection, Snake Plissken. For those of you who don't know who Snake Plissken is, Google's your friend. Open paren, Escape from New York, close paren. I bought this knife. This knife has kind of an odyssey associated with it. It has been buying it was a process, just trying to decide whether or not to get one, because I knew I wouldn't probably carry it, and I don't really buy knives I don't carry. But I bought this one specifically just because it's so dang good looking. And I really thought, well, if I'm ever going to have just a showpiece, a safe queen, a knife that I would just display or pull out and lovingly fondle and put back away where it's safe, this was it. This is literally the most handsome knife I have ever held in my hands. Not saying there's not another more handsome knife in the world. Maybe there is. I've never held one better looking than this. When I decided to go ahead and pick one up with the wood inlays. Now, the Sebenza is available in all kinds of different inlays, micarta, carbon fiber, several different kinds of wood. The Snakewood I was initially drawn to, but then I also kind of got seduced by the box elderburl, which is kind of a lighter blonde wood with some really neat patterns in it. And for a long time, well, relatively long time, when I was trying to decide which to get, I was favoring the box elderburl, but when it came down to pull the trigger, I could not get away from the fact that I just loved this Snakewood. I have a tendency to like dark woods better anyway. So, and this one just looked like, to me, like that the pattern on the two individual inlays look like they come from the same piece of wood, and that they were just cut from the same piece of wood and installed on the same knife. And I think that's just incredibly awesome. Such a gorgeous knife. The micarta inlaid knives, they do all sandblasted. You can see the backside, the clip and the lock side of this one are sandblasted as well, which is what they do on all their wood inlays, which I think gives it a nice kind of two-tone effect, gives you some extra textures on the knife, and they also do that all the way around the edges and the radius here of the in the flat of the frame here on the sides. And then the top of of each slab, or the side of each slab is then polished or satin. Really, it just has a lot of neat textures and colors and feel to it, and just really an attractive thing that they do with these. At any rate, the micarta ones, come all sandblasted like your standard Sebenzas do, and then. With these guys, they kind of give them a little extra treatment, and it really makes them look gorgeous, in my opinion. And this Snakewood just pops, doesn't it? Oh my goodness, just love it. Even the back looks like it could be from a very similar piece. I mean, as far as color-wise, it's got the same kind of orangey and base with the dark color. I mean, it looks like they could have cut this whole knife's inlays off the same piece of wood, which is just amazing. Because they don't always all look like that. When I saw this particular one, I was like, oh, I gotta have it. And I ordered it from a place called Edge Specialties, and they custom order most of their inlaid knives with the silver thumb lugs and lanyard pins and spacers back here. So that's kind of cool. I specifically got that. Usually you see them with gold, and I specifically got it with the silver because that way, even if I don't carry the knife, which I really kind of don't anticipate doing really, I mean, maybe someday I'll change my mind, but right now it's really just a showpiece and a fondling knife, and then back safely into the Pelican case. But this way I can still open it and close it occasionally without worrying about rubbing off the anodizing like you see on a typical Sebenza. This one has the blue, and you can see how the blue anodizing starts to rub off. And I didn't want that to happen on the gold on this knife, because I still do want to fondle it occasionally and play with it. So the silver, plus it just plays awful nice with all the other hardware, and the satin finish on the frame, and then the blade is very cool. They call it a polish, but really, again, it's more of a satin. It's got a set, oh, a little bit of a finger mark there from over in it. It is very fingerprint susceptible. Here, let me fix that real quick. Can't have a beautiful knife like this having the fingerprints on it. That just will not do. I'll fix it as best as I can. Alright, let's see if that's a little bit better. Yeah, could be better still. Alright, let's see if that's, I know that'll have to do. Anyway, where the hollow grind is, they call it a satin. Excuse me, they call it polish. It's really a satin, but it's like a polished satin, I guess. But then the flats are stone washed, like your traditional Sebenza blade. So that's really neat. You can see that I've left the lanyard on, and I despise lanyards on any knife, and I always take them off my Sebenzas. But on this one, I've left it on, again, because I just am leaving it completely stock. I haven't even touched the edge yet, nor will I. I haven't any intention of sharpening it. Again, maybe someday I'll change my mind, and I'll get tired of just doting on it, and I'll just decide to carry it. But for right now, I'm keeping the factory edge. Like I said, usually I go ahead and put up my own edge on them. You can see on my normal old Sebenza 21 here, I have a nice mirror polished edge on it. Maybe you can see that. Yeah, you can see it. Anyway, I've left this guy completely alone just because I want it to just stay pristine. It is so perfect that it almost scares me because I'm just waiting to do something stupid with it and put that first little flub on it, that first little mark, or that first little nick or scratch or whatever. And I know it'll happen eventually. And then maybe when that happens, I'll feel the impulse to go ahead and start carrying it. But I'm really trying to prevent that from happening. I've even thought about getting a display case and just putting it up here in the pub. You know, hanging it on the wall might be kind of neat. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it other than just look on it lovingly and fondle it. The inlays do have a little bit of a different feel in the hand. It's not a bad feel at all. They're just a little bit thicker than you find on the plain Jane version. Like I said in my previous video, I kind of prefer the plain Jane's feel, but that's just me as far as the thickness and whatnot. And I like the velvety smoothness of the titanium. This is very smooth. Obviously, it doesn't, but not velvety smooth. It's more of a slick smooth. And the wood inlays are treated, and they're actually quite slick too. You're not going to get a lot of grip out of those. The micarta and whatnot, I think I know, can be kind of grippy, but on the wood ones, not so much. But boy, what you sacrifice on a little bit of grip, you certainly make up for in sheer stunning, brilliant gorgeousness. Ugh, wow, is this amazing knife? Look at the way the light catches on that. Oh, I mean, this is a grail knife. And when people talk about grail knife, this is a grail. You know, for the longest time, this was my grail knife right here, Hinder XM18. And don't get me wrong, still would be considered one of my grail knives. I mean, I wanted one of these so bad when I finally got it, and I've had several. And it certainly holds a place. And look, I got bronze clip on it and filler tab. Bronze pivot. Don't have the bronze screws yet. Don't know if I'm going to get them. I'm not sure. At any rate, certainly one of my grail knives in my knife career has been the Hinderer. However, when I say grail knife with this, I mean it almost like if you really had the Holy Grail, you wouldn't take it down and drink from it. You would keep it behind a locked case. You would protect it. You would keep it pristine. And in a way, that's what this is. It's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful that I don't know that I'll be able to ever get myself, fingerprint? Oh, man. Bert must have done that when I wasn't looking. I don't know that I'll ever be able to really make myself carry this. We'll see. Maybe, over the course of a couple of years, I'll finally just decide I'm being stupid about it, and I'll go ahead and peel the lanyard off, put a blistering wicked edge on it, and just start cutting stuff with it. But I don't know. In the meantime, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it in all of its gorgeous beauty, because it is truly a gorgeous knife, along with its other Sebenza brethren. So guys, really, not telling you to buy one, just showing you what I got, because dang, is this a stunning knife. Oh, and you know what? I totally forgot the Odyssey part of this knife. So okay, so I'm getting ready to wind the video down and almost forgot the real story behind the knife. So I buy the knife. I get it. It shows up. I open it up. It's gorgeous. It free drops. Smooth as silk. I give it the old classic Sebenza blade play, and it has, test, and it has blade play. Pretty significant blade play, actually. Like, what the heck is wrong with this kind of blade play? And then I look more closely, and right here, along the edge of the spine of the knife, from about here down, there is an aesthetic flaw in the blade. It's all, the best way I can describe it is say it just looked unfinished right there where the flat of the grind, as the grind comes up, meets the curve of the spine here, because the Sebenza spine is rounded slightly. Right where those two points meet in space, it didn't get polished or buffed out or finished, and you could see all the little light reflections that would come off of this as all these little imperfections all along that area. Clearly something wrong, clearly something missed in QC. I was just destroyed. So I called up Angela at Chris Reeve and told her about it and sent it back under warranty. And they replaced the blade. They actually did a whole blade replacement, so this is a brand new blade. They replaced the blade and sent it back to me. And wow, cannot stand the fingerprints. Hold on. It's a little bit better. Not much, actually. Anyway, they did a whole blade replacement under warranty and sent it back. This one is absolutely perfect. Ironically, when I first got it back, it did have just a hair of blade play still, and I'm like, what the heck? So I took it apart, cleaned it up, relubed it myself, put it back together, and it's absolutely rock solid, nothing at all. Extremely smooth, even smoother than this guy. Not much, but just a hair, probably smoother and freer falling than that guy. This one is probably the smoothest and freest falling of all three of mine. And it's also the oldest and has had the most pocket time and the most work. So it's probably just the most broken in. But, wow. It was kind of an odyssey. And I was very distraught for a while. And it actually took them about a month to get it back to me. So I actually had this knife and owned this knife for quite a while. Just haven't actually physically had it in my possession. But now that I do, I keep it lovingly tucked away in the Pelican case in its own little separate ultra deep pocket, hidden away by tons of little foam. Guys, if you ever want to get one of these and you've got the nerve to carry it, then you should do it. Me personally, I don't know that I have the nerve yet, but dang, do I love to look at it. Look at that. I just love the way the light plays off that. My goodness. All right, I'm just like totally into knife porn now, so I think I'll end it here. It's getting a little crazy, but you gotta admit, that is a gorgeous knife. All right, thanks for watching, guys. As always, that's 1 ounce 2 cents. Keep the change. Sláinte.